It's about building a thoughtful and scalable foundation that supports consistent growth year after year.
Welcome to Honest E-Commerce, a podcast dedicated to cutting through the BS and finding actionable advice for online store owners. I'm your host, Chase Clymer, and I believe running a direct-to-consumer brand does not have to be complicated or a guessing game. On this podcast, we interview founders and experts who are putting in the work and creating real results. I also share my own insights from running our top Shopify consultancy, Electric Eye. We cut the fluff in favor of facts to help you grow your e-commerce business. Let's get on with the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Honest E-Commerce. Today, I am excited to welcome to the show Julie, the Vice President of E-Commerce and Digital for Bajio Sunglasses. Julie, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Chase. Thanks for having me.
I'm excited to chat. So what's so special about these sunglasses over there? What's unique about Bajio?
Yeah, so we're a small company out of Florida, New Smyrna Beach. We've been in the business for about 4 years, about to turn 5 actually. And we specialize in premium fishing sunglasses. So, our main niche and consumer is the angler, right? Anybody that's on the water and wants to cast a rod and catch fish, we have a product for them. But our lenses are, unique. They have a technology, the lapis technology that basically just clears out all of blue light. All of our lenses and sunglasses are polarized. And we have, our product is, number one in the industry. And our mission is just, to make the best sunglasses and lenses out there for anybody that's out in the water, either fishing or just out on the beach or in the boat.
That's amazing. And as a fisherman, I do, anytime you schedule a head boat to take you out, or you're going out with a tour guide or whatever, it's sunscreen, and then it is polarized sunglasses is the second thing that they require you to have to get on the boat. So I definitely know the niche that you are feeling here. So I'm super excited to chat today.
Awesome.
Now, take me back in time. Where do we want to start this conversation? You're not necessarily on the founding team, but it's a small team and it's only been around 5 years now. So it's still close enough. But do we want to start at this where you joined Bajio, or do we want to go back in time with kind of just your career in e-commerce?
Yeah, I mean, my main focus has always been e-commerce. I've been in e-commerce for about 20 years. And I've gone, from industries from, apparel, home goods, pet products. My journey is just always been rooted in truly understanding a brand, right? A voice, the values, and how it's perceived from the customer's point of view. And, I'm always passionate about how you can communicate a brand's message in a clear and engaging way. And then you're already halfway to your success. With Bajio, I started about, I think, a year after they had been in business. And, I started here, I would say, when there was little to no e-commerce, I would say, presence. And, one of my biggest things, and one of the things actually that I'm most proud of here, is just taking the business with little to no e-commerce presence and turning it into a strong revenue generated channel. So yeah, I've been here for 4 years, and, just watching that transformation unfold and knowing that I played a key role in shaping, every stage of the customer lifecycle from acquisition to retention has been incredibly rewarding. I had no idea what you just said about fishing, before I started here. I've owned boats before, and I love to be on the water. So it was definitely a fit for me. Fishing has never been my thing, but, now I'm definitely part of the culture, definitely part of the company. And, it's not just about hitting revenue goals, although that's always a win, but it's about building a thoughtful and scalable foundation that supports consistent growth year after year.
With your kind of career in e-commerce almost spanning 2 decades, do you remember, what was your first job or entry point into the e-commerce world?
So I started back in 2011, 2012 with Perry Ellis. So I started in the apparel. Back when 2011, 2012, there was not a lot of a lot of degrees that had e-commerce and digital marketing. Every industry very much like today, was still understanding what is this, right? So I started more with email marketing and learning, the basis. My passion, and actually what I, majored in was mass communications and marketing. And I started out in publications, but then when I went into the e-commerce side, just changing that mindset from, okay, the customer is now digital and everything is, your data, right? Everything is now measured in data. Understanding that from the beginning has helped me tremendously, from my early years. And then after that, I went, Harry. I had my own agency at some point, and but really working on the client side. Then I worked for a company that did artificial plants, and that was actually back in 2020. And it actually did really well because everybody was home, and with the internet, they had nowhere to go, so everybody was renovating their homes. So that was also a very good experience. Then I also work with a company that sold pet supplements. So, just working with each brand and helping them understand their brand's message and then translating that into the customer and seeing how you can mesh that with, with what the customer needs. I think it's beautiful.
Absolutely. With joining Bajio, you mentioned a few minutes ago that they didn't have much of an online business at all. Were they more of a traditional, like, wholesale B2B startup before you came in? And what were some of the first challenges you tried to help them overcome?
Yeah. When I started wholesale, and so we have two different channels, wholesale, optical, and e-commerce. And e-commerce was, it had a presence. They had a website, which is now, it's the same, bajiosunglasses.com. But it was more of a catalog for our wholesale business. There was really no real like strategy or plan developed for the customer that wanted to be in D2C. And I came in and, a lot of, it was perceived as, well, this is more like a catalog and, for wholesale. And I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to help you with that. But you're going to see how I'm going to help you always also transform and create that brand message for our customers. Because now, we didn't only have retailers here in Florida, but now we are reaching people, in Washington State, in, all over the United States. And we weren't having that. And in 3 years, we've grown, very, very much so on the online presence.
Absolutely. What were some of those kind of specific initiatives that you helped the brand navigate to see that growth?
Well, to have a clear understanding on what we wanted to say online, right? Making sure that we had our brand's message from, being manufactured here in the US in New Smyrna Beach to having the best sustainable quality products to, you are definitely paying for what you get with us, to then having, from there, having that laid out and then understanding that and then creating things, on a more granular, our email marketing, our SMS, our SEO, and our pay, and ultimately our paid campaigns. So definitely, programmatic marketing, but building the whole customer life cycle and how that journey would look for, not only what I was telling you earlier in regards to the niche. So the person that fishes here in Florida is very different than the person that's going to do fly fishing, and very different than that's going to do bass fishing, right? They're all very passionate about their sport, but having a true message and like when we write stories, building those stories with the product and having a good, good merchandising and stories. So it looks authentic, because we want to make sure that message that's very authentic to somebody that's very passionate about either fly fishing or, a bass tournament, or here in Florida being in the water. If we sell the story, and if we tell the story and it comes with product, we want to make sure that it's authentic and it's not just something that we want to have, sell it to a customer just because.
It makes a lot of sense what you're saying there. Like if you're trying to create that story and craft a message and you're talking about like the salt on the air and that ad is touching someone in Lake Erie, there's no salt on the air up in Lake Erie, right? So that is kind of, they're all, while they all are participating in the same sport per se, it's not the way that you're talking about those stories is different. And I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like anything, if let's say, for example, I'm very passionate about like mountain biking or just traveling, right? So if I read something online and, I hear, that it's fluff, I'm probably not going to want to buy the product. So for example, when it comes to influencer marketing, we don't do influencer marketing. If you see, we hire guides. So we have a program where our pros are the guide. So the guide that takes you on your fishing trip, wherever you are, those guides can join our program, and then we'll be able to partner with them, and they're going to be our best influencers out there. So we don't actually hire just any influencer, because we want to make sure that the people that do touch our product and use our product and speak for us know what they're talking about.
Yeah, those brand advocates couldn't be any more in tune with your market and your target demo. And do you often talk to them to try to get ideas for like ad campaigns or anything, to see how they're talking about it?
Oh yeah, I mean, well, when it comes to ad campaigns, those are very, very separate. We do have community leaders that are always out on the field doing events. We have them for fly fishing, saltwater, bass tournaments. So, and they are the best at what they do. And then they're the ones that are the key point to talk to our pros. And that's why every time you see a video, usually mostly on our IG or Facebook on the organic side, if you see a video or if you see anybody talking about our product or saying, being in an event, it's authentic. And then when it comes to our ads, it's, photo shoots that we do with our own models, and nothing is outsourced. So, that's very unique. It's, I would say, challenging to maintain, because sometimes you want to have more content and more things faster, but it's definitely, a great aspect because it keeps us authentic.
I have been in business for nearly 20 years, and very few companies I have hired in that time have performed as well as Electric Eye. They have knowledgeable staff, and our project was delivered on time and on budget. Electric Eye has exceeded my expectations, and I look forward to working with them again. That is a direct quote from one of our clients at Electric Eye. Electric Eye is a Shopify Plus partner that has helped over 100 brands migrate, redesign, and optimize their stores since 2016. If you'd like to increase your conversion rate, average order value, and revenue per session, we are the true Shopify experts you've been looking for. Right now, we're offering a free diagnostic to qualified brands that reach out and mention the podcast. Visit electriceye.io today to schedule a call and send us a message. Find out why we have over 50 5-star reviews in the Shopify partner directory. Again, that's electriceye.io, electriceye.io. What if every customer could help grow your brand without you lifting a finger? Social Snowball is the platform that turns word of mouth into a real growth engine for Shopify and TikTok shops. Here's how it works. Every time someone buys from you, Social Snowball can automatically turn that customer into an affiliate, giving them a unique referral link or discount code instantly. They can share it wherever they're already posting. Instagram stories, TikTok videos, YouTube hauls, you name it. You'll be able to track every referral and influencer sale, send commission payouts in 2 clicks, block codes from leaking to coupon sites, automate influencer seeding and gifting, and let affiliates cash out using over 700 payout options. Plus, it works seamlessly with your existing tech stack and channels like Shopify, Klaviyo, PostScript, and your TikTok shop dashboard. The craziest part is they're basically giving away free money. You can launch your affiliate program for free, which shouldn't take longer than a day if you focus, and enjoy a 30-day trial before ever paying for the app. That's right. You can use this software to turn your customers into affiliates for 30 days for free. To take advantage of this offer, go to socialsnowball.io/honest. That's socialsnowball.io/honest. Again, that's socialsnowball.io/honest. Would $1,000 help your business? Portless is giving new customers $1,000 to reinvest back into their business just for getting started. Right now, you are probably paying tariffs on most items in your warehouse before you even make a sale. That means your cash is just sitting there, trapped in inventory that might not even get sold. Not exactly a recipe for growth, right? But what if we told you there's a smarter way? With Portless, you only pay tariffs when an order ships after you've been paid by your customers. That means free up more working capital instantly, turn inventory into cash faster, and completely eliminate the risk of paying tariffs on unsold stock. Here's how it works. Portless helps you ship directly from China to your customers' doorsteps in just 5 to 8 days. Yes, that's exactly what Shein and Temu do, and you can do it too. You get access to your inventory days after manufacturing, keep less stock on hand, and only pay duties on what actually sells. No more guessing games, no more cash flow nightmares, just smarter, faster scaling. And remember, all new Portless customers get $1,000 to reinvest back into their business. Schedule your free strategy call today. Visit portless.com/honest. That's portless.com/honest. One more time, that's portless.com/honest. Shopify makes it easy to sell online, but unlocking streamlined global sales demands more. Don't let high cross-border fees, frustrating payment failures, and complex tax requirements hold back your store's international growth. Activate Reach instead. As a merchant of record, Reach helps high-growth brands like yours optimize global sales with local processing and automated tax compliance, all while protecting your store from fraud. Reach is already integrated with Shopify, so you can activate Reach with no extra dev work and start seeing results fast. Brands like Revolve and Everlane trust Reach to boost international approval rates to over 90% and cut cross-border costs by up to 40%. Expanding globally is just the first step. Optimizing performance is where the growth happens. Book a free, no-obligation consultation today and learn how you can level up your global sales at withreach.com/honest. That's withreach.com/honest. withreach.com/honest. Let's be real. Sales tax is a nightmare. You didn't start an e-commerce brand to stay up late Googling tax laws or stressing over whether you filed in the right state. If you're still trying to DIY your sales tax, or worse, using a tool that leaves most of the work on your plate, you need to check out Zamp. Zamp is a fully managed sales tax solution built specifically for e-commerce brands. That means actual experts handle everything: registration, filings, remittances, all of it. Brands like Tushy, Glamnetic, and David are already using Zamp to get sales tax off their plate. Some Zamp customers spend as little as 2 minutes a month thinking about tax. Imagine that. No confusing pricing tiers, no surprise fees, just one flat rate to make the entire mess disappear. And yes, it works seamlessly with Shopify, Amazon, BigCommerce, QuickBooks, and more. So, if you're tired of sales tax headaches and want to stop risking penalties or audits, go to zamp.com/honest and get 3 months free. That's zamp.com/honest. zamp.com/honest. What are you kind of most proud of in your e-commerce journey to date?
Let's see, most proud of. So I would say, my journey, where I am now, I would say here at Bajio. And again, like I was telling you earlier, one of the things I'm most proud of is being a part of a brand's growth from the ground up. When I joined Perry Ellis, it was already known worldwide. When I was working for the Home Goods, it was also, pretty big. I scaled, it went from 10 million to 20 million in 4 years, but it was also a very well-known established brand. Same thing with the pet supplement. It was, it's a global brand. Here it's such a beautiful product. And, the story from our founder, Al, and his wife, they started this brand and this product with a mission to, to not only have the world's clearest lenses, but, to have a company that really resonates with what they want to build, right? So being part of a brand's growth from the ground up and, taking the business, Bajio, my business channel with little or no e-commerce presence that he had at the time and turning it into what it is today, which is a revenue generating channel. And watching that transformation unfold, it's really rewarding, really. And it's not just about hitting the revenue goals, although that's obviously also a win, for everybody in the company, but it's also about building a thoughtful and scalable foundation and seeing that consistent growth year over year. It's very rewarding, and I'm very proud of that.
Absolutely. It's funny that resonates kind of with some of the ethos that we have over at our agency. It's like, it's a lot more fun, working with as small as whatever it can mean anything to anybody, right? But smaller brands, right? And it's more like if you help a brand make another $1 million that is sub 8 figures, right? So a brand that's worth less than $10 million, if you help them make another $1 million, that's massively life-changing.
Correct.
Versus if you help a publicly traded company make another $1 million, that's
right.
Maybe not even enough, and you might lose your job.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just that. I mean, like I've been doing this already for so long that it's kind of like I know the formula that works. So once I understand the brand, okay, what's going to work, from customer acquisition to then, your other channels and seeing, from the data, what you need to make the brand growth. So once you have that, which I've had it here, like you said, now it's kind of like setting up the brand so that in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you're, triple where we are today. But then you also have to grow everything else, right? Because it's not just e-commerce. And those are some of the challenges that I face now is, not that you're growing too fast, but then it's kind of like, okay, so now I'm ready for, to scale, 10 times, but then you need to have more customer service agents. You need to have a bigger warehouse. And then everybody's like, oh, wow. Right. So good problems to have, but yeah, that's definitely something that I'm very proud of.
Yeah, it's something that if you are out there talking to if you're thinking about hiring someone or maybe partnering with a new agency or something, and they're not asking you a question like, hey, what happens if this goes really well and you double your sales overnight? Like, what happened? Can you do that? Can you sell twice the amount of products you're selling right now?
Exactly.
Right? If people aren't asking you those questions, A, they don't have the confidence in their services maybe, or they haven't done it before, but B, it's like they need to understand that the channels that already exist can support the growth they're trying to bring.
Right. Yeah. And then you need to ask, okay, are you going to be able to have the product?
Yeah.
Right. Right. Especially with everything happening now. Yeah. So, think about anybody that has, goods. And if you want to scale 5 times, you need to have the product for it. Because if you have the demand, if you run out of inventory, it's a lot of times what happens, to companies, it's, not planning enough to have enough inventory for your e-commerce growth.
Yeah. And if you have like a campaign that just goes super successful, or, by a strike of lightning, you get something that goes viral and you can't capitalize on that and you run out of stock, by the time you get it back in stock, the momentum might be gone.
Yes. And I've seen that happen. It's actually happened to, to my team in other companies where like something went viral, other companies where like in the home goods, we had influencers, right? So we would ship, things to the influencers. And there was this particular product that went viral and we didn't have enough of it. And it went viral and it was like we couldn't sell. And then after, 3 months supply and it was gone. So yeah.
Yeah. And then you might be in a situation where you have too much of a product that won't sell anymore.
Exactly. It's like, no, it's viral, it's gone, which is the thing about e-commerce too, right? Things go viral. So those are the things that I try to, with this brand, what I try to stay away from. We don't have a lot of different SKUs. We don't have a lot of products. So I like to make sure that our best sellers are always changing. And if I don't have, if I run out of something, I can back up with something else. And I mean, our bestsellers are, all sizes for all types of, they're all unisex. So that's a definite plus on my end.
Yeah, just to like highlight that for our listeners, you kind of have like, a dozen or so hero products without any variants attached to them, right? And as opposed to keeping that stock in fashion,
right?
Even small, medium, large is 3 times the complexity to what you guys are bringing to the table with like a one size fits all unisex sunglass.
Exactly. Yeah. And some sunglasses might be more for women. But I mean, I would say, and some might be, just for men because they're extra large. So, something that I wouldn't be able to wear, but because they're too big. But yeah, so, our bestsellers are just constantly, changing. And if something does go viral, we'll have enough of that because we manufacture here in the US. But, we'll always have enough to have a supply for all the bestsellers.
Awesome. Julie, now, is there anything I didn't ask you about today that you think would resonate with our audience?
Emergent technologies?
Ooh, yes. What are you guys looking at over there?
So I was recently at eTail in California, and
that's where we met everyone, by the way.
Right. And, everybody's talking about AI, and AI is such a buzzword though. So I was very interested about all the sessions and presentations that everybody had about AI. And, I think as we're learning AI, I think every company out there is trying to sell you AI, right? But let's say, for example, for a brand like mine, what is AI and what can you do for me? So for example, for me, in a perfect world, I would like AI to, okay, Chase came to my site and Chase, has made no purchases. He looks at a product, then personalize everything for him so that I don't have to show him, if he looks for something that's large, I don't have to show him something that's small or medium. If he looks based on, the type of fishing, so personalization based on AI from a first time visit, that's huge for me. I haven't been able to find that yet. And then obviously returning customers. I mean, we have a very high rate of returning customers, which is beautiful because people, once they come to Bajio, actually, I'll send you some sunglasses, and I can assure you, once you go to Bajio, you won't go back to anything else. But once they come to Bajio, they start coming back because they love it, and then it's lifetime warranty. But those returning customers, I don't want to show them again what they've seen in the past, even though it's our bestseller year after year. So what can I show them? So that type of technology is what I'm looking for, but that it doesn't have to be hundreds and thousands of dollars. So that's what I'm looking for. And I know that tech is emerging now, but I'm always just curious to see how that's gonna go. And also your experience on paid ads, right? Facebook and Instagram, what's out there. I don't want to show you something, like you said, if you're somewhere where salt water is not your thing, I don't want to show you an ad where it's all about salt water. Mm-hmm. I want to show you about what your specific niche for fishing is.
I think AI is, I think the hardest challenge with AI and bringing it into your business is it can do everything. Now try to come at it with some very specific results or outcomes you want and then backpedal from those results is the way to think about it. Because I think a lot of people just look, it's like almost like you're looking at this blue ocean and you don't know what to do with it. And it's just like, well, just start thinking about things that are a pain in your, butt to do every day at work. We love ChatGPT over at the agency.
Who doesn't?
Use it for all sorts of stuff, but it's mostly for the way that we've found to utilize it is, it's just making conceptualization of new ideas or organizing thoughts or data manipulation, right? We're barely scratching the surface with what this stuff can do. And I know there's some crazy people out there that are building, quote unquote AI agents, that are just trained to do particular tasks.
Right.
It's going to be very interesting to see where the future goes.
It's definitely going to be, right. But I'm also looking for like predictive analytics, right? So predictive analytics when it comes to forecasting, right? So forecasting, just so many different things that can help a business. I wouldn't say, definitely not eliminate people, because that's what, that's also why it's become such a buzzword, because people are like, oh, are we going to start having AI agents?
It's going to take our jobs. These things are dumb. They only do exactly what you tell them to do.
But it's right. It's kind of like, okay, so how do we make people work more effective, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Exactly. And there's so many companies out there that have, people writing POs a day. How can we make this AI work for us so we can be more effective and grow, be more productive? And
it's still the gold rush. AI isn't replacing the shovel. It's just a better shovel, right? And if you just find ways to use the better things within your workflow, you become more efficient, more valuable. You're then producing more value for the people that you work for, and everyone wants you to stay around.
Exactly. Yep.
Awesome. Julie, now you talked about how sweet these sunglasses are. If I'm interested, where should I go? What should I do?
All right. So definitely come to bajiosunglasses.com. All right. What type of fishing did you say you like to do?
I am in the Midwest and I fish Lake Erie probably once a month.
So what do you catch?
That is freshwater.
Okay.
We got a lot of bass up there, catfish around the things, but it's mostly perch and walleye are the ones you really want.
Okay. And so this is your thing? Is this what you like to do on weekends?
Yeah. Lake Erie is a great time north of Ohio. It's in between, I think it touches Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Ohio for sure. And then on the other side, Canada, Toronto is right on Lake Erie as well.
Nice. Okay. Well, I would definitely head over to bajiosunglasses.com. You could start with, shopping by size. I would probably say, what do you usually do when you come for sunglasses? What's your size?
I don't know. I think I have a normal man-sized head, so not extra large.
Okay, so like a large. Okay, large. And the beautiful thing about our frames is, depending on what you want them for, right? If you want them to be like a full wrap, so you don't get the glare on your eyes, is we have 7 different lenses. And from those lenses, then you can go, do you usually fish in the morning, in the afternoon?
Mornings. Yeah.
Mornings. Okay. So sometimes, when it's in like the winter time, we have our lenses that are more for low light. We have our low light lenses, and these lenses actually also help you when there's not a lot of light, obviously. So the beautiful thing about our sunglasses, and the reason why we have so many returning customers, is because they'll buy a frame and then they'll buy the same frame with different lenses. We also have prescription, which is, very good to know. And then, we also have readers for people that are starting to dip their toes on, the +1 and +2 before they go to prescription.
That's amazing. Yeah. And we'll make sure to link to Bajio Sunglasses in the show notes. Yeah. Julie, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me, Chase. Hope to see you around. Are you going to be in E-tail this year again?
I'll be at all of them. They love me there.
Awesome. You're going to be in West Palm?
Not that one, but I'll be at the one in Boston at the end of the year.
Awesome. Okay, I'll see you there.
We can't thank our guests enough for coming on the show and sharing their knowledge and journey with us. We've got a lot to think about and potentially add into our own businesses. You can find all the links in the show notes. You can subscribe to the newsletter at honestecommerce.co to get each episode delivered right into your inbox. If you're enjoying this content, consider leaving a review on iTunes. That really helps us out. Lastly, if you're a store owner looking for an amazing partner to help you get your Shopify store to the next level, reach out to Electric Eye at electriceye.io/connect. Until next time.